This border is here to keep foreigners out. Border patrols detained almost 500,000 people last year alone. Here at the southern edge of the United States. On weekends, US border guards open up what's called Friendship Park. Here, family and friends on both sides of the border are reunited. Well, sort of. So Mexicans living in the US illegally can see their loved ones. I'm here to see Daniel, who wants to come to the US but can't.
So I'm actually not allowed to talk to Daniel across the border for security reasons.
For me, crossing the fence is no problem. It's a quick drive from California down to Tijuana in northern Mexico. That's where Daniel's been living for the past 4 years. His parents, brother and sister are 4 of the 12 million people who live in the US undocumented. He lived there too for 10 years before he had to go.
And just looking at that border, I mean, doesn't it make you feel angry?
Angry? No. Kind of more of like sad, you know, like I just want to jump up, run over and go home. But I can't.
But you could. I mean, some people do that.
Yeah, but then what? You know, I would still be stuck in a place where I couldn't go to work, I couldn't go to school, I couldn't have a life like I wanted to. So yeah, you could just jump the border and be over there and pick fruit and vegetables for 8 hours an hour. I mean, it's not as easy or as comfortable as most people think.
Are there moments when you seriously consider doing it?
Yeah, of course. My mother just survived cancer, and at some point she was really sick. And for a moment there, I thought she wasn't going to make it. So I was planning of crossing the desert illegally into the United States, just so I could see my mother.
Daniel didn't just live in the US. He risked his life in battle for the US as a Marine in Iraq. But when they found out he wasn't a US citizen, they kicked him out.
In the military, we have the saying of no man left behind. Well, they're leaving us behind. You know, they're making it so our service is not good enough just because we had the bad luck of not being born in the United States. I mean, we're not just illegals who have been deported. We are, and we will always be at heart, Americans who have been banished, you know, who have been left out from the one place that we love.
It's been 4 years since Daniel ended up on what he sees as the wrong side of the border. He's had to build a new life in Mexico, find new friends, and figure out how to make ends meet. The 29-year-old lives with his grandma here in Tijuana, his old hometown.
Hola. Bueno, qué bueno, gracias a Dios. ¿Cómo te fue? ¿Cómo te fue? ¿Bien?
Igual, ¿cómo estás?
Aquí, de aquí.
¿Cómo estás, primo?
Ándale, pues. No, nada, gracias.
Putting away the past hasn't been easy for Daniel. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Of course, to enlist, Daniel claimed he had US citizenship. The Marine Corps turned a blind eye.
You lied when you enlisted.
Yeah.
Were you aware of that?
Yeah, I mean, I knew I wasn't born in the United States, but it was the only way to enlist. And had the opportunity to serve the country that I was living in. You know, there's always, when you grow up as a Mexican in the United States, there's always this stigma of, you know, taking our jobs, or they're just feeding off the system. And I didn't want to be another Mexican living in the United States. I wanted to be able to say, hey, you know what, I did something. I served this country, and I was willing to put my life on the line for it.
After he got kicked out of the Marines, Daniel faced deportation. He chose to leave voluntarily instead.
¿Aló?
Madre.
Hijo.
¿Qué pasa, mamá?
¿Cómo estás, hijo?
Bien. ¿Cómo?
Entonces espero que
Now phone calls are the closest he can get to his family.
a lo mejor lo va a tener que trabajar, como si lo pagan un poco más.
There are 1.3 million people living in Tijuana, but like Daniel, many of them don't want to be here. They're waiting for the chance to make it to the States. Some have already lived there, been deported, and are hoping to get back.
¡Atrás!
Daniel thought he could build a future here. He started university. Next year, he'll finish his degree in law. But over the past 4 years, his hopes about living in this country have faded. Now he can't imagine staying.
The thing is that when I got here to Mexico, I didn't realize how American I was until I got to Mexico, you know? And that's when it hit me that I don't identify with the culture, I don't identify with the people, I don't identify with its government, with its political system, with the way they do things.
Tijuana is a city of broken dreams. Every day here, people climb over the fence. Lots of them get picked up and are sent right back to Mexico. Last year, US Border Patrol stopped almost 500,000 people on the other side of the fence, most of them Mexicans. And that same time, the US deported almost 180,000 Mexicans. Deported US soldiers in Tijuana come here to Hector Barajas, himself a US veteran who's also trying to help Daniel out.
Daniel's case is a little unique because he was undocumented, but most of us served legally. We were in the United States legally. We were drafted into combat in the Vietnam War. So these were people that put their life on the line for the American government.
Why, for example, your own case, or like most people, why are they deported?
The majority of the veterans that are being deported committed some type of crime after they were in the military or while in the military, but the majority after. So we got out, served in Afghanistan and the Gulf War with honorable discharges. After the military, because a lot of the men are suffering from post-traumatic syndrome, they come back from the war, they don't know how to cope with it, they start drinking, they might start using, then in order to keep that habit, they might rob somebody or steal something, and then bam, they go to jail, they get deported.
After their service, most non-US veterans like Hector commit a crime. And after their jail time, they're deported. There are no figures on how many non-US veterans have been deported, but Hector says it's got to be more than 3,000.
So I have some good news for you, and this is an email from the ACLU, and you know, this is not 100%, but this is what I have. Have you spoken to the individual who you mentioned had falsely claimed U.S. citizenship on his application for the military? It does not appear that that would bar his naturalization, and basically to put you in contact with her. So you might go home, brother.
Perfect. Perfect. That's
Small harder now.
yeah, that's what I needed, man. You know,
and
just some lawyer to look at it.
Come on. Yeah, and that'll end his nightmare, you know. So
great, perfect. I don't know. It's too much. Like I'm excited. I don't wanna like jinx it. I don't wanna get my hopes up. I just want to do it one step at a time, and hopefully it works out and I get to get home. Definitely, that's what I want.
American Coca-Cola.
Just looking at Daniel, you'd hardly know it's the news he's been hoping to hear for years. He's probably just too afraid of getting his hopes up, in case it doesn't work out.
I didn't choose to come to the United States, but it's a place that I fell in love with and I now call my home. And all those mistakes that has been made in the past, I just hope I don't have to pay for them for the rest of my life.